Good evening. I was on my way home from work today. It's the 18th of August, Thursday. Then we have a produce stand that someone has set up in an open lot right on the highway coming into town, my hometown here. And last fall when I first started my pepper tests, that's one of the main places I went to get different types of hot peppers, and I got a lot of different varieties of habaneros and whatnot. They always just have them clumped together as just habanero peppers and other varieties, but the habaneros I noticed quite a variance in the different types. And this year, I went today and they had a bin of habaneros. As soon as I pulled up and I saw in the section where the peppers are, I saw one that didn't have a name listed, but it said $4 a pound, and I'm thinking, habaneros, the other market that sells them regularly, Super One, they are $7.98 a pound. So I figured that was approximate price range for more expensive peppers, and I guessed it was habaneros, and I was not disappointed. I got a bunch of different varieties. Not sure which one I'm going to try out here just yet, but I wanted to show them off. Now these were, I'm still not entirely sure if these ones are a kind of habanero. They do look like an elephant trunk or a Cuban L as far as the shape, general shape goes, but they were in the habanero bin. It's hard to tell just based on the crown, because on the habanero varieties it has that same hexagonal shaped stalk piece. So I got these ones, and another distinct variety which I'm pretty sure is the peach habanero are these two. They're already getting a little ripe. Thin-walled, nice and wrinkled, especially this one. And then these three, which were even more different, they're very pronounced ribbing, as you can see. Very cool looking. So that's variety number 3. And then I had these, which look like hot paper lantern habaneros, but I'm not sure. Most of them I was able to find ones that looked approximately the same, but I could be wrong on any of these, so we'll see. I guess as it stands right now, I might, with ones that I have more than one of, I'll save the seeds of a couple of them and try and grow them at some point. Now, here's one I thought was interesting looking. This one, the closest one I could find that looked pretty much identical in shape and size and color to this was one called the red plum habanero. So I'll just classify it as that. And finally, this one, very bell pepper looking, 3-lobed on the fruit shape. Madame Jeanette's was the closest one that I found as far as appearance goes. So, yeah, let's go for the red plum. This is a big fruit. Fun. So, Lots of drool. Tongue's going right on. Ooh, the hiccups start. Excuse me. Face is getting warm. Lips, especially my bottom lip, burning. It's not a habanero variety. Definitely annuum flavor. Sweet, a little fruity, very pungent, oregano-like or herb-like flavor underneath that. Very interesting, not conventional. Got a nice knot of warmth right in here. Whole top of my tongue now starting to build a little bit. Face is warm, eyebrows are sweating, forehead a little damp. Not really much happening on my lips, my bottom lips. More noticeable. Hiccup still creeping in a little bit once in a while. Yeah, the whole top of my tongue's got a good solid burn happening. It's starting to build up a level above my lip now. And when I talk or breathe, the tip of my tongue flares up. So now I'm guessing these are elephant trunk peppers, based upon the fact that this was not a habanero and it was mixed in with the rest. Whole top of my tongue. There's a sub-phase where it's kind of, but there's a really strong and slow building crescendo of warmth that's in the foreground on my tongue and on my lips. My upper lip now is starting to catch up a little bit. Nose is running a tiny bit. Lots of drool. When I was chewing it, my mouth was just welling up with drool. A little bit of the thickening saliva in my throat. Yeah, that same pulsing, where there's one element that I can feel kind of ebbing and flowing, but then there's a more prominent sensation, but not by much, in the foreground, where it just builds and builds and then slowly recedes back as far as the intensity of the sensation goes, and it slowly comes forward and then goes back. As far as the orientation on what area of my tongue it's burning more. It's a really strange sensation when I sit and analyze it. Flavor was good. Very pungent. It was faintly flowery, floral-like taste at first. And then it was, oregano or some sort of pungent herb mixed in with the fruitiness, and not in a bad way. It was a good blend, very unique, distinct flavor. If I could figure out what kind those were, I'd definitely like to get a hold of some more of those and use them in some sort of hot stir fry. I meant to say hot salad or stir fry. Nice spicy crunch. Just peel the seeds out, leave the veins in, dice it up or julienne it or something, throw it on the salad, or if you maybe pickle those. They seem like they'd be good pickled. Most peppers are good pickled. So, now it's more prominent right here on the outside of my lower lip. It looks like it might be swollen a little bit. But everything is receding now. It's one of my cats wanting to get in. From my mouth. Burning a bit. In a borderline numb sort of way. But I can tell that it's still... on the top of my tongue is definitely still there. Not as much, but it's still sticking around in the background there. So yeah, I'll cut this one off now. Rambled on for long enough. Spent a few minutes there introducing all the new specimens that I'm going to be trying. So, not a red plum habanero, not a habanero at all. Definitely Annuum, the capsicum, common chili pepper flavor inherent in any Annuum variety like jalapeno, serrano, poblano, Anaheim, any of those in that general classification. Pretty noticeable as far as the skin texture, the flesh and juiciness, and the flavor itself. Even if there are differences in flavor between different types of Annuum peppers, obviously, ripe poblanos or ripe serranos have a definitely distinct flavor between them, even if it is fairly subtle, comparatively speaking. But this one definitely Annuum, fairly decent level. I'd put it at, 1 to 2,000, maybe 3,000 Scovilles. So I mean, it's there, it's noticeable. It's not totally tame, but at the same time, compared to the hottest ones, this one is almost nil as far as heat goes. Stuck around for quite a while. Very interesting burn. Maybe it was crossed with chinense, because it did have the chinense, similar to a chinense shape. And I know they do cross-pollinate pretty easily between chinense and Annuum. There are some other varieties that don't cross-pollinate all that well. I think the pubescens ones, the ricotos, those don't cross-pollinate with any of the other main species. But in any case, I'll see you later, and I'll be back maybe a little bit later on tonight. Let this calm down and test one more before I gotta get to bed. We gotta work at 5 again tomorrow, so I will see you later. Bye-bye.